Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of FoolsTown here in City Skylines 1, where last episode we built a brand new area with the sole goal of increasing the population all the way up to 75,000. And in fact, we lost 4,000 people. I don't quite know how that works, but we are now slowly bouncing back. Things are now starting to grow, but we need to speed up its development and inject a bit of steroids into this place. We need to take care of a lot of the services, the education, walkability, public transport, to entice more people to move in. Now, if you are enjoying this series so far, please make sure you smash the like button down below. Subscribe if you are new, so you do get notified when more episodes do come out. But this is what we built. Hold on, there we go. Last episode. It is a vast area which is slowly growing. Population is slowly increasing, and it will look absolutely glorious when it's finished. But we do have quite a few problems. There's a lot of traffic with the cargo goods coming from this area to drive over to here. We did implement a little kind of flyover, which worked really well. We've got some public transport coming down. We've got a couple of little water issues now starting to crop up right now, so we need some water. Guys, I cannot wait until I've got 75,000 people living here and I unlock all the other tiles. Oh my goodness me, because that's when the big mega projects can begin. I can finally sort out my water treatment plant. Hallelujah. We cannot wait for that moment right now. But to get there, we've got to fine tune everything to make sure that we are all okay. Now, first I'm going to do, well, we do have this little issue right now, is sort out the water. And by sorting it out, it's just pretty much building another couple of water sucky uppers right now. And then off we go. And then that should do us just fine. Let's fast forward for wait for them to turn on. There we go. We're all good with the water right now. Hallelujah. My oil industry was desperate for water right there. So what we're going to do next then is I'm actually going to spend some office demand, and I'm going to place down a couple of regions to change how some of the dirty industry works and see if we can make it maybe a bit cleaner. I don't know. Or we might do the opposite and make it high tech and make it even dirtier. We're going to see. We are going to see. So what I want to do first is place down some offices, and I want to kind of designate them in these little areas here. It's just so I can kind of grow some of the job market a bit more. And then they'll kind of spend some more of the residential demands. So office demand then, we'll kind of fill all this up. This will be quite a nice area for people to work in offices because it overlooks the park area, which will be really, really nice. I could put some offices going around here as well, which backs onto the park area. That doesn't seem like it's going to be much of a problem. So we'll just kind of go there with that and see how we go. And we'll see how quickly it kind of spends that demand. Next, I want to create some... Oh, hold on. Is this full? It is full. Let me just quickly empty that. If I go to the zoning, ultimately we can kind of give the industry its own specialization, which we can make it obviously generic or what it is. But if you place down a region, I don't think I've got one I can kind of utilize. I do have one. It's this one here. Go to policies. I'm sure city planning, we can do industrial space planning, which that is going to double the amount of goods, doubles the amount of goods produced by the zone industries. I'm sure there was one that enabled us to be, is it Industry 4.0? All industry workplaces, increases the production, reduces the workplaces of zone industry. I'm sure there was one that kind of reduced the, is it filter industrial waste? Zone industry buildings need to filter their waste, making them pollute their ground a lot less. That was it. Because we do have a lot of pollution dotted around. And I think it will be a good idea for us to kind of, sort that out. Now, apparently, right, there's not enough workers. That's funny, guys, because, I've got loads of zoned residential for people to move in. They just don't seem to be moving in as quick as I would like. Are we got sewage issues again? I honestly, boys, I cannot wait until we've got some additional tiles. Right, first thing I'm going to do then is zone this whole area here. We're going to quickly paint this, and we're going to use this area as the guinea pig to see what exactly is going to happen if we filter the industrial waste. I want to see how much the pollution reduces by before we start applying it to many of the other areas. Right, next, I want to see if I can reduce the amount of traffic coming through here. Now, it does all seem to be, well, it's mostly, it looks like a little bit of a mixture, but it is mainly garbage trucks and it is mainly kind of cargo vehicles. So let's see what's going on here first then. Do we have lane management sorted? No, we do not. Do we need to set up this system? Is the question. What's the issue with all of this? It's mainly vehicles just kind of crossing over it, and that's because they get down to here and there's a big issue there. So I think then we'll reverse engineer this. We'll first kind of build our overpasses so pedestrians don't walk across, slowing the vehicles down. Let's start there first and work our way backwards. So, if I can remember how I did this previously, we're up by a 5 and we turn off the snapping to allow me to pretty much do what I want. And we'll create a glorious 4-way interchange system here. Right, there we go. We then bring you down and drop you. We then bring you down and drop you. Oh, wait, hold on. Didn't these come over a bit more so I can kind of get the back end of them sorted? I think they kind of did. But let me bring you down and then bring... Right, we're going to have some problem with this building. Yeah, I may have maybe already messed this up. May have already messed this up right now. Right, drop you down. Right, if I turn off... I mean, I'm not going to be able to turn much off here. It's trying to snap to that. If I delete you first... I don't think there's any way in which I can not have that building get deleted. What if I just bring it down this side? I think either way, that building's going to get oofed. Let me bring you in a bit more. Oh, okay. It just oofed itself anyway. Right, bring you down to there. Like I said, I'm not going to be able to do much about that. But I'll leave it as it is. And I'll build one this side. And... we'll build on this side. So it's not going to be like what I've done previously, but that's completely fine. That should still do the job for us. I think every one I've done of these right now have been slightly different. And I think that's kind of like the nice character of this area. I think it works out really well. Right, get rid of the crossings there as well. And then that junction should technically flow a little bit better. We'll kind of sort it out as well. To where vehicles can, you know, flow a little bit nicer. You're going to go straight ahead. You're straight there. So if you're going straight ahead, right, you need to be in a different lane to this left-hand turn one. Figuratively, it should then speed people up a bit more, but it can only do so much. It can only do so much. So there's no point me fixing this right now until this junction's more free-flowing. Now, what doesn't help this junction is people crossing, and that's because we don't have any ability for them to cross over here to get to work a bit easier. Now, do I also kill two birds with one stone? Instead of doing like a walkable crossing like we've done elsewhere, we do a physical road that passes over like we've done over here. They can walk, also the vehicles can drive and shortcut, thus then reducing the amount of vehicles flowing down here. Now, that would scream yes, but it also screams, well, are all these vehicles going to all of a sudden start using that? The big problem is because they're getting off the cargo train and driving over here. We need a cargo train for this vicinity or nearby, which will be very, very handy. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. What I'm going to do is pause. I'm going to delete you. And we're going to grab our road. And then we are going to, let me put the snapping back on. We're going to bring this out and raise it up to 10 over a 12. Raise this up by a 10 over a 12. Why is that one not doing it? What happened there? Right, what I'll do quickly is because it's gone a bit funky. Bam. That's better. So we have these two overpasses right now. They're going to bridge up, and they are our main runs of road that kind of flow. I've done two just to kind of help us out, and it's now just a case of figuring out where it's going to work the best. So I think that one there for that one. And then we'll do this one. Is this one too far away? It's two different locations, so I think by doing two, we then split the traffic. And we're going to hope that that's going to work. We're hoping that's going to work. So, up to a 10, over a 12. And then we'll use our connection tool to do the magic for us. Up by a 10, over a 12. And then these are going to do some interesting bends on the old connection. So, up to there, we will play around with it, which I think that will do us fine. So if I can reduce the speed limit as a way to kind of discourage a lot of them using it. But that has now just killed two birds with one stone. By getting rid of the roads down below as well, it's made walkability even more difficult at this point. So I reckon what I do here is if I get rid of the snapping, and then I just run down to there. A little walkable area, and I do the same here. Yeah, it's going to destroy some of the buildings, but now all of a sudden they can walk through, which makes life easier. And for these guys, they could walk round, but it's going to be slightly annoying. So I'll do one there, and I'm gonna anarchy one down the side of the buildings here, and that should work out wonderful for us. Right, hopefully all the traffic doesn't all of a sudden decide to switch over to those roads, and then we've got traffic on those roads. We'll see. It is a great improvement, but we'll ultimately see. Right, let's take care of education next then, because that is going to be a fundamental thing that we need to improve on. We're going to need quite a few elementary schools right now. So we'll go with the city elementary school, and of course we'll place it around the park area. So I'm going to do one there, and I'm also going to do and implement one just here. So two within this important vicinity right now. And they give me a capacity each of 800, which would have worked out glorious for us. And then, academic report. I'm going to replace and place one down just there. Replace some residential buildings there with it. And that almost gives me enough capacity, but just not quite. So I reckon what we do next then is I'm going to throw one in just here. Because I feel like we need to kind of back ourselves up a bit more in some areas. And, I mean, this is such a populous area over here. I'll do one just there. Right, there we go. That gives us enough capacity, which is good. Now, high school, we definitely need one in this vicinity, which I'm going to place just here. Around the park area, because it kind of then makes them walk through it to get to school, which is super important. So that works out really well. Gives us enough capacity. I think for now that will be okay. I just need to increase walkability. So they're now using these two overpasses, which is not as busy as I was expecting it to be, which is good. It solved the traffic issue here, but it's a simple fix, not an effective one just yet. I now need to increase walkability to the park area. And I've got to do some walking coming from here down to the stadium as well. So, we are going to do some straight pieces. So, directly from the crossing, we're going to walk down. This is going to destroy a lot of residential buildings right now. From the crossing down to there. And then what we do is we're going to bring this down. And then we're going to bend it all the way in. So we'll have to add in some nodes for some crossing anyway. And I'm just going to run you down to here. Very good. I want to do the same again over here as well. So I'm going to pick a random spot like there. And then we're going to run this down. And then I'm going to run this down the back end of it. And I'm going to do a very... Well, actually, do you know what? No, I'm going to run this
to go into here. That's amazing. So I'm just going to add all the crossings on the roads for it to make sense. So, bam, crossing. Bam, crossing. And then do I add one here for this one? Might as well, right? Crossing. So that's okay. It's just then these couple just here. So breaking the game and you put a node too close to another node. Breaking the game again, but it's all okay. It's all okay. Right, we have destroyed quite a bit, so let me just kind of refresh the zoning. Let me do the paint tool. That's a lot easier when you've got to go over stuff again. So just mainly where we've slightly oofed. And then just down here as well. I think we're all okay. Yes. Right, increases walkability, which is very important, very vital. But my concern now is I've created a shortcut route from this area to this area via coming down this road and then going back that way. So I'm going to artificially kind of deter that by changing the speed limit. So if I started with a 30, it's currently at a 40. So if I start with a 30 and a 30 there, so I've reduced the speed limit by 10 miles an hour just on this overpass road and that overpass road. Just to see if that does anything different. I very much doubt it on a 10 mile an hour change. But we'll see. We'll see what happens first. Right, we're up to nearly 73,000 in population right now. That has since grown quite rapidly. How is the pollution over here? Oh my goodness me, the pollution has heavily reduced. Like, heavily reduced. So we should apply that logic now to over here. Right, I'm going to go quite big on this one. So yes, it does cost more, but it's not like we're poor right now. We can afford to do that. Industrial waste, filter industrial waste. That should heavily reduce the pollution as well, improving the average health across the city. Very good, boys. Very good. Very good right now. Right. We're still growing. We're still expanding. We're still skadoodling. There is lots of people now walking on my beautiful paths, which is amazing. When it comes to public transit, we have a subway stop there and there. We now need to take care of buses within the local areas. That's going to be the next important thing moving forward. So we're going to grab the small little intercity bus stations, right? That's what we've been using. Is it this one? No, it's a compact bus station. So the compact ones are here. And we kind of need it near a current transitional stop. So I could do it. I could do it here in the park. So you might get a few people walking through the park, thus increasing my income. Not that I need it. And I think changing the speed limit has had an effect to a certain degree. So that's kind of a little bit of a bonus. Right, let me do another one over in this area as well. And I think for this one, we're going to pull it directly across from it. Or no, I'm going to put it on the same side of the road. That makes a lot more sense. So first things first then, we're going to allow us to kind of drive around the Recon here first. So bringing you out, we are going to run you down. Okay, he wants to go round, which is completely fine. We'll go to... So because it doesn't have a node there, it can't switch. But let me just bear with me on this one for a second. So if I come out this way and we were to go to there. And we're going to cut up this way. We'll go then to here. I'm going to do more crossings. Here, 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 coming down this way, down to here, just to there, bring you to there, and I'm going to say just to here, and then back in. And then I'll repeat the process again, but then going the opposite way. Right, it's opening my eyes to a few more areas where we need some walkability, some paths implemented. So bring all these down to there and then in. I don't mind that loop too much. It will do what it needs to do. So let me sort out the walkability first then. So we need to do some that goes directly from here. So if I go there to there, and then if I just cross to there, and then get these little nodes in, that one's okay, that one in, and then that one we turn into a crossing. That works gloriously, and then we need something over just on this side as well. So the bus stop is just there. So we'll do one here. And then I'm going to bring you up just to there. So it is destroying, unfortunately. And I'm going to bring you just through here to there, where we don't destroy those bigger buildings. Crossing in. That one, crossing. Don't need to do one there, but we'll quickly change this to a crossing. And we might as well take advantage of this little square. So, if I go back with the snapping... Nah, I'm not going to do the snapping on this. We'll initially just go around to there, here, and here. Bendy-wendy like that. And that will allow me to squeeze in my little path there for the crossing. We do have the subway stop here, which I'll go there, to there, and then to there. I know it's destroying a lot of buildings. I'm going to come down to there. And for the crossing here, we'll come in like that. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. And just creates more walkability as well. So that should work out very well for us. We have a bus stop just here, so I'm going to incorporate another little crossing just to there. And then do we do the same around this area? We actually could. Because, oh, yes, finally. Oh, okay, right. I'm going to promise you right now, boys, next episode is going to be interesting. But I will buy some tiles now, because it's going to allow me to do quite a few bits and bobs. Right, we'll go like that. That creates even more connectivity. That's glorious. Right, amazing. Amazing stuff. I'm going to quickly sort out the little bus route going around here. Although we could do with sorting out more road connectivity and the layout a bit better. So we could, in theory, I pull these snap back on right now. So if I come down, I could come down by a 10 there. I could also come down by a 20. I could also come down by a 30. The issue is it's trying to snap on to the road buildings, if it makes sense. That's a 22. That's a 20. I'm not quite sure if that is right. I very much doubt it. So I'm just going to lead these down. And I'm going to pick this point there and there. So they're a little bit wider, which we don't mind. We don't mind. And I reckon here... I'm going to run you down like that. And then that enables me now to build my little bus route. So starting from here, new line. And then we'll come out. We'll come out to there. We'll then switch to here. I'll then switch to there. To there. There. I'm thinking of like having the bus stops on junctions to maximize the walkability. And then pretty much go back the opposite way. There we go. Go there, in, and then back again. Now we've got what kind of circulates locally. We then kind of do our connecting jumps. So I'm not going to have enough bus like areas for this. So this one is going to go directly to that way, but we would kind of want to justify it a bit more. So if I had it stop there and then there and then maybe just, no, not there. Maybe just here on the way out. Coming down, it's got to get into there. So it's naturally going to go in that way. So I could have it stop. Oh, do I want it to stop there is the question. There. To then come in to go back out. Oh, I don't know how I feel about this. Did it mess something up over here? No, not really. But I'm worried that having buses there might cause me to have traffic issues. So that allows me to take a bus from there to there. Easy. I could have used the overpass, but I want to maximize the pickup. To be honest with you, I could have... You know what? Yeah. Get rid. Just let them be direct. Have I missed one? Yeah, I've got then these, haven't I? Oh, there we go. Pull it all back in. That's now more direct. I'm just going to make them direct. And then back again. And then we do one on this one. Let's just direct to this one. Wait, did it work? There we go. They're just direct to one another. And that's all it needs to be. That's all it needs to be right now. Right, very good, very good, very good, very good, very good. Pollution has dramatically dropped. The only really pollution we're majorly seeing right now is the inner side and from the incineration plant. So eventually we can kind of hopefully switch out for a more cleaner version of it. Right, I'm going to now buy a couple of tiles. Actually, I'm going to buy all the tiles that side, all the tiles this side. Very expensive. Right, but it unlocks now a lot of area I can ultimately work with, okay? I will buy the remaining of them, maybe next episode. But it means the mega projects can now begin. Now, I don't want to do too much just yet, but what I will do right now is run another canal system to exit here, just to give us additional capacity for the water to flow out. Let's just do this now. Now, a lot of you guys have been asking Seniac when I originally did this, why didn't I use canal systems? I like doing the walls because it allows me to have greater control over it all. So let me just put that to there. So it's a 7 out, isn't it? Is that what it is? Well, I'm just basing it off these anyway. To there. And then obviously we've got to connect these up. So if I pause the game right now, and if I ran this through, and I ran you to there, and then we ran you to there, you to there, I've got to sink all the land down. I've got to elevate the train lines. And I've also got to turn that now into a trumpet junction as well, which is quite important. So if I elevate you and you and you, and then just quickly grab their nodes just so they're risen above. Hasn't got to be mental. It's just enough that it's over it. There we go. Just enough that it's over it. Hasn't got to be mental. Level in the terrain. Increase the brush size. All right, there we go. Increase a bit more. All right, to exit. And then, of course, we've got to then flip the... Which one was it again? Was it the invert segment, wasn't it? Yeah. Invert the segment. There we go. That's now all done. Water should flow all the way down. And how did I end this one? I just kind of ended it, didn't I? Yeah, that's really all it did. Let me just now soften the terrain up here a bit more. Because that's going to... I might just elevate all of that and get rid of the mound eventually. And then just soften this a little bit just so it visually looks kind of okay-ish. Alright, delete all the trees. There's an easier way to do this, isn't there? There's just that. And then press play. So water should then flow out relatively quite quick. And then go in that direction. There is a couple of trees there as well. Thus alleviating a little bit more pressures that we have been seeing. Which is important. Water's going to come into this way, but it will then soon change the flow once it starts building up over in that area. And that should technically reduce the water levels a little bit. But I've got other plans for this. I just want to do that now because it's something that's been pestering me for so long. So long. And now finally I can do something about it. Right, while that does that then, I also want to sort out the trains on this system. Because cargo trains bypass this passenger line, which if I brought this over and then trumpeted it in, it will solve so many problems. Right, get rid. I'm sorry, trains, that you're now going to have to experience this slight panic that I'm now about to make you endure. We're going to raise this up to a 10. Pass this over. Okay. I'm then going to do a 10 by 10 and then drop it down by 5. A 10 by 10 and drop it down to off. And then I'm just going to do a 21 by 21. I'm going to bring you in. These need to be on the ground as well. What am I playing at here? On the ground, upgrade. With the move it tool right now. Bend you down. Bend you down. Maybe push it up a bit. Right, the trains connect. Very simple, but hopefully very effective. Puts them on the outer line. And then they can crisscross there if needed, but that brings them directly into this as well. So it just helps the passenger trains run a bit more efficiently. And they flow a little bit better as well. Right, glorious. Water's now flowing out here. We got a bit of a puddle there. It will soon dwindle down. Water levels have definitely dropped already. So much, in fact, that we could maybe start thinking about turning on another one. Look at the water level dropped here. Oh my goodness me. See? That's all I needed, guys, is more canals, kind of. Right. Do we try and clean up this water here? I mean, it's still polluting. We still need a lot more, don't get me wrong. But let's... sort it out here. This is very expensive, but I might add. That will clean a lot of the sewage coming through now. It does repollute once it goes through industrial areas. Plus, right, we have a large section of it. Oh, the water's definitely dropping down here. We have a large section of it that is kind of backing up in itself awkwardly. But I could turn this one on. And hopefully, with that capacity, that keeps us going for some time. That's what we're hoping for. I think there's a race going on right now. I can hear everyone cheering. Are we still profitable on these race events? Yeah, we're still making close to 1 million every single time. You can't argue that. You cannot argue that right now. Right, that's amazing. As simple as that and quick and easy as that was to kind of incorporate. Very good, very good, very good. We're going to have a little bit of an overspill. Of course we are, until it all kind of like settles down and filters out with the new flows. But I want to widen this channel a bit more. I don't know whether I want to take it up here and make it go somewhere else, but I definitely want to bring something down in this way. And I kind of want to create some artificial canal systems running around the areas. I don't know why. And it will just kind of be pretty nice before we kind of set up a system for drinking water. Very good. Very good. Right, that's now, the sewage is now settled down a bit better. And that's now all going to be flowing out gloriously. Fantastic, boys. Fantastic. So I like to know where it starts polluting again. Or is it just initial pollution coming out? I think it was just like initial pollution that got pumped out. But we'll see. We'll see what happens anyway. We'll see what happens. Right. Do we have any issues lying around now that I need to worry about? I think the cargo traffic is doing wonders. It's all dwindled down there, which is great. Walkability is looking pretty strong. This park has definitely got to be... Yeah, it's making some serious cash. Which is amazing. Walkability there. Demands are increasing accumulatively. People are using the car parks. There is a football match now on the go. People are loving life. What they're not loving, or what I'm not loving, is them crossing this road. So I need to discourage that, ultimately, right? So, no crossings, please. No crossings. Let me do no crossings everywhere. And then we'll set up some walkability next. I'll add all them in. Surely there's no additional walking they can do. We are then going to set up the ability for them to access these areas. So if I come off there. If I come off there and bring it up by a 5. And then do the same here. Let me just bring you like that. There's a very awkward node there, wasn't there? And then I'm going to first push across here. So let me delete you again. Bend ya in. And then we'll do I'm going to do a 4x4 and then raise you up. And flow you round. Very simple, okay? Very simple. But it should do the job. It should do the job. Keep us flowing a little bit more. So, yeah. Bit of traffic is now building up. But we can... Ooh. They dislike something around here, don't they? Right, so let's take a look at the medical situations then. I think we might need to do a bit more. A high capacity hospital is definitely going to be a good shout. For where though? I feel like it should be like within this vicinity. We have some recycling centers here. I think this might be a good place for something or other. So if I brought you out to here. And let's say I went there and then just ran you down a bit more. We could do a nice high capacity hospital. We could do a nice high capacity fire station. And a nice high capacity police headquarters, which is actually pretty small. And they don't have power. Right, this adds to the local area. It's not amazing, but it's allowing us to kind of bring us out onto a road. It can go places, but it's not amazing. I'm just giving us some local coverage nearby. That's pretty much all it's going to do. Pretty much all it's going to do. So now we could actually think about doing a proper rail line coming all the way down this way to access both sides. I know it does it anyway over there, but something over here would be pretty great. Unless I kind of wait until I've unlocked a few more tiles, because I don't ultimately know how I'm going to end this area. However I end this little section will be where the train line runs around and through. So that kind of makes a little bit of sense. Just to kind of hold out a little bit right now. Could I turn another one of these on, or should I wait for a minute? I think I'm going to wait until we got more sewage problems. I think that is that will be the goal then. That would be the goal. So that's definitely worked out in our favour, having the old trumpet junction involved. Very happy with that right now. Very happy with that. We're now able to buy more tiles so we can access the mining area. Finally. Finally, he says. And I'm wondering whether we should kind of incorporate some passenger train stations. So where that runs out here and it's going to go in this direction, I can kind of slightly realign this to have some passenger stations kind of going around and then bending round for all the areas on this side and then moving down, which will hook up to that passenger one there. And I've ultimately then almost created like a loop. Interestingly, we'll see. We'll see how that works. But that could be interesting. Because that one currently right now just goes to there back and forth. So yeah, we've got quite a few big plans in reality. Now, unique buildings is always an interesting thought process. Is there anything here that would be pretty nice? The transport tower? That feels like it's got to be a building for around this area. Overlooking this little transit hub. That's pretty nice. Gotta admit that. We got the Mall of Moderation. Nice little shopping districts we could kind of ultimately set up. This is the stuff like we've got, you know, really got to think about and plan where we want. Because they are decent sized buildings. Mall of Moderation is like a more of a low density thing, if I'm being completely honest with you. So maybe somewhere like... Oh, it's too big to kind of fit in there. I feel like it should go here, though. I feel like it should kind of like go here. It's its own kind of complex. And then we place around it. Let me turn off the snapping. The walkability. That allows us to go to there. Kind of go to here. Right. It's right next to this stop here, which... I could either do overpasses, but I don't think this road is busy enough for me to even potentially consider overpasses. So I'll do a crossing there. A crossing is needed here. Just keep breaking the game everywhere. And that really helps us out. That should update shortly anyway. There we go. It's a nice little thing to kind of squeeze in. I do like the unique buildings. I really, really do. We do have the Posh Mall, which this is destined to be in a larger vicinity. So maybe it's something that kind of goes over here. Just like that. And I think this itself kind of needs its own walkable perimeter for me to play around with stuff. So there, and I'll save them onto them 2 junctions just there. So just big stuff like that really helps us out, really defines areas. Right, anything else I'm going to squeeze in? I just want to see what I've got unlocked versus what I can get in. We've got the Grand Mall next. We also have the courthouse. The Colossal Towers. That's a big building. Big building. We got the Grand Library. We got a lot of cool stuff we could add in, which I kind of want to save some of it. Oh, what's this? This is the elementary. Is it elementary school? It is elementary school, isn't it? Yeah. I might throw you in just here instead, just because I like the idea of that really, really big building going just there, overlooking this transit hub, is what I really like. Okay, I think that's enough unique buildings for now. We'll leave it like that. Very, 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 very nice. Very nice. I'm going to do a little bit more work here, and I think I'm going to leave it like that. So if I was to now just go completely OTT. With all that stuff, turn these both on. And I just want to see, with all of them now on, do we have enough capacity within the canal systems to be able to supplement that flow? So it will flood a little bit. It will slightly flood. But we're kind of hoping we're going to be okay. Let me get rid of these trees that are in here. Few rogue trees dotting around. And that should clean everything once it all settles down, because I'm looking at how low the canal systems are. There's definitely room there for more water to flow in. And I think that would work very well for us. And then we've got clean drinking water in many ways. Yeah. My population's at 80,000 right now. We have kind of skyrocketed to what I need. So now everything is kind of surrounded this area. I want to ask you guys another quick question. Do you think we should be able to bypass this whole intersection? And what I mean by that is either having walkways or roads. So if you want to get from here to here, you've kind of got to go the long way around, where you could do diagonals with walkability, which would solve a lot of problems. A lot of people are using this right now, which is amazing. So they do love to walk. And walking solves a lot of problems. It really does. People love to walk. And what is the walking like on these overpasses? It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. I'm more impressed with everything that we've done today, with the fact that how much we reduced pollution. I really am. So in terms of unemployment then, it's at 5%. So we could throw in more industry. There's nothing stopping us doing that. We do have some roads, kind of vehicles backing up over here. So do we need to look at maybe replacing some of these overpasses with connecting roads? It would solve a lot of problems. It would solve a lot of problems. We might have to. So this episode has now geared us up for us to start working with big mega projects. What would be the first one that we do? Now, I'm just going to throw it out there. We do have 80,000 people living in this town, and it's only slowly growing even more and more and more. But
Are we at the point where we need an airport? I may have said too much. We'll end it here. Hope you did enjoy this. Please smash the like button if you did. Subscribe, and until next time, I'll see you all soon. So goodbye.